Hey, welcome to Brunch with Brian. We are live here. I decided to get outside a little bit. So, what I wanted to talk about today was your mental state, your mindset. So many things about this business are about the mechanics, and so we talk about the mechanics a lot. From marketing to getting on the phone to making effective phone calls, closing the deals, talking about attorneys. I have that great attorney report that you can get. So we have all these mechanics that basically dictate how you run your business in terms of the steps. But overall, all the steps is your mindset. And in fact, you wouldn't even be doing the business if you didn't have the right mindset and the right approach. So that's what I want to get you into the right mindset. One of the problems with our mindsets is that we have issues with other people. Okay, some issues we have with ourselves, and that usually revolves around confidence issues, and everybody goes through challenges with self-esteem. I don't care how rich someone is or how famous they are or however successful you might think they are. Everybody has low self-esteem challenges, and sometimes the people who have all that bluster and you think, oh, that person's 1000% confident all the time, that's why they are bluster like that, because they're insecure. That's why they act like that, overconfident, and that they're compensating, they're overcompensating for their insecurities. So sometimes you think someone's really super confident and they're just kind of covering up. So let's be honest, everybody has insecurities. We all have challenges sometimes, and we all have performance anxiety. So every day, you've got to perform at a certain level. And, especially in this business, you got to make phone calls, you got to get on the computer, you got to do things, and you want to feel like you're doing well. And so that's kind of like, creates some anxiety and insecurity. Overall, I want your mindset to be super positive, and what is my motto? Expect success. So I want you to start there. That's your starting point. So always, you should write that down and frame it and post it. Expect success. And so when you go into, and right now, guys, more so than any time I've seen in over a decade, the market is really loosening up now. The sellers are finally getting off their high horse, and deals are out there to be had. So I've been talking about a lot of the deals we do. We just bought, now be aware that in where we're at right now is sort of a little bit of a delicate place in the market, because not all sellers have made this adjustment, have made the adjustment of the fact that this is a different market than it was even a month ago, and even 2 and 3 months ago. Obviously, interest rates got bumped again yesterday, 3/4 of a basis point, 75 basis points, 3/4 of a point. And so that is significant in the real estate world. That's hundreds of dollars on a mortgage payment. And so obviously it's gone up several times now in the last few months. And so obviously that's changing the whole outlook in the real estate world and in the real estate market. A lot of people are talking like hot markets that have seen large growth, 20-30% in a year or more, are going to now see some of that give back some of that equity. Maybe the property values might go down 10 or 20%. Okay, that's the juicy market that we've been waiting for, guys. Motivated sellers, and so you got to have the right mindset. One place that I noticed that people really get caught up in the mindset when they're doing two things with other people, and I call them the two C's: criticizing and comparing. Okay, and this is something that you sort of fall into, especially if you have brothers and sisters and a tight brother and sister thing. Now, there was 5 of us born within 6 years, so we were very close, and there was a lot of sibling rivalry. And you're always kind of comparing yourself. And when you're growing up in school, that's kind of how you figure out how you're doing in life. I mean, you're saying, okay, I'm getting good grades, or I'm doing good in sports, or I'm good at this or that, and you kind of compare, as opposed to, if you say you're good at something, by necessity, you kind of have to say compared to blank. If you go out there on the pickleball court and you say, hey, I'm pretty good at this, And then you see somebody on the next court that's like really way beyond you. You might think, okay, well, maybe I'm not so good. So we always kind of compare. It's kind of built into our DNA, and it's kind of how we course adjust. We course correct through our life. We see what other people are doing, and we don't want to be, and this is peer pressure. That's how peer pressure works, is that we don't want to be too far outside the norm. Now, some people are okay with that, okay? And everybody has sort of their different level of comfort level with being sort of outside the box and outside the norm. But we all feel some kind of peer pressure and some push to conform. But that's why real estate is so exciting, guys. This is the way that, don't conform in this way. Okay, don't be like the 19 out of 20 people who depend on Social Security when they retire. If you get into real estate, if you think outside the box, this is the area to not give in to peer pressure. So if you start saying, hey, I'm going to do real estate, and actually now if you start doing real estate, people and the agents and realtors and stuff are perking up, and people actually might think, now people might be scared of real estate, but they know there's going through a market shift right now. So you're getting a lot more flexibility in that marketplace. I'm telling you that this is the time to act. Now, because of peer pressure, sometimes people don't do real estate. Sometimes they worry that, if I tell everybody I'm doing real estate, or if I put a sign on my car or something, people will judge me or think, whatever. And so sometimes you succumb in a negative way to peer pressure. You don't step outside the box and think in a big way and change your life. And guys, sometimes you have to. Sometimes you can't go with the herd. If you go with the herd, the lemmings, you're going to go over the cliff. Or if you go with the herd of cows, cows are heading to the slaughterhouse. So let's not follow the herd. This is the one way where we have to break away. Now, sometimes a lot of other people in real estate investing who have had some success, and that's the herd, okay? So join that herd. And we all have this herd mentality and peer pressure. Get it with a group of people that are doing real estate investing, and then it's like that's the peer pressure to do deals. Wow, everybody else in this group is doing deals. I got to do deals. So that's like our Wolf's Deal Club. And that's the peer pressure we want to exert on you in a positive way. All right, so this peer pressure kind of pushes you to conform, and it pushes you to compare. Okay, so that's the one thing we want to try to avoid. That's a huge trap. There's always people that do certain things better than you, and you're not the best in the world at anything. I hate to break it to you. Now, can you have a great life and be really, really good at a lot of things and really have a fun, great life without having to be the best at everything? Absolutely. If you have to and you're going to be a comparing person, listen, you just can't avoid it. Everybody kind of does it. Everybody kind of sometimes compares. If you find yourself falling into that trap, just resist it and just say everybody's doing their best. Everybody's doing their best, and you know what? Everybody doesn't start at the same starting point. Okay, some people had rich dads. Some people had rich dads who was already doing a bunch of real estate investing and had a whole big, huge, massive portfolio of commercial properties. Now, if you grew up and that was your dad, how do you think your chances to succeed in real estate are? You're basically just taking over the family business, and it's already a going concern. Okay. Now, if your dad is not some real estate millionaire, then you have to be the dad. You have to be the rich dad or the rich mom. You have to be the real estate millionaire that your dad or mom never was. Sometimes you see people who have had that advantages in having a rich real estate investor, dad or mom. And, so just remember that person did not start on the same starting spot that you started. Okay, they started with a silver spoon in their mouth and a golden diaper wrapped around their tushy. So they were way ahead of you. And so don't compare it. That doesn't even work to compare yourself to something like that. Look at where you started, okay? And if you can look at what your goals are. Look at your bucket list. This is where it comes down to your choices, okay? I just want you to be on a path to achieve your goals, not anybody else's goals. Forget everybody else's goals. Forget everybody else's path. The path I care about for you is your path. And so to figure out your goals and what your plan is, follow my success trinity. What's the success trinity? Goals, plans, and schedule. So when you follow that success trinity, then I know that you're going to be on the right path for yourself. And so that's what I want you to do, and set goals for yourself. And so don't compare yourself like, oh, that person's way ahead of me, or they've done more deals than me, or whatever. Don't say that. Just look at your plan. And so if you start finding yourself comparing yourself to someone, just say, okay, let me look at my plan and where I'm at on my plan. And am I making the progress I want to make? That's what you should focus on. That way your actions are pursuing your goals, and you're not wasting your time and mental energy. And this will suck away your mental energy if you're doing this, if you're playing this comparing game, okay? Now, the other thing that people do is criticize. That's the other C that I want you guys to be aware of and try to avoid. And if you're criticizing, and listen, criticizing, it's as much on you as on other people. Now, I have a problem with being self-critical. If you're a thinker brain and you're a perfectionist, you're going to have problems with being overly self-critical. And if you're finding yourself just diving into self-recriminations, that's not a positive state to be in. And so being critical of yourself doesn't help. Okay, I want you to be positive with yourself. Compliment yourself. So if you find yourself criticizing, let's do a 180. Let's flip it to a compliment. So if you find yourself, oh, I'm just not doing good, I'm a loser. I hate to even say that critical stuff because I don't like to even put it out there. But yes, let's just put you in a critical mindset, and you're saying, and you're beating yourself up about some mistake you made, or something you goofed up, or how you're behind in life, or because you're comparing yourself again. Okay, so just think, okay, I'm not going to be critical, I'm going to compliment, and think of some things that you can compliment yourself on. So do a 180 on criticizing, okay? And listen, think of some affirmations. And I like everybody's just doing their best, okay? That's one that helps me actually when I see people, and there's people out there who actually make choices that you would consider evil, that are like heartless choices that hurt people. And you think, wow, what mindset? How can I even deal with that kind of mentality? And just, you know, try to stay away from just sitting there criticizing and being critical. Just don't even think about that person. The better thing to do is just try to get away from that person, get them out of your life, if possible. That's not always possible. Sometimes there's a family or a work situation where that person is going to be in your life. And so, but if you are around them, or if you're thinking of them, or if they're stuck in your head, it's because you're critical of them, and you're a lot of times in your mind criticizing them and saying, well, everybody should be criticizing them and understand, you know, all these things that aren't right. But that just puts you in a loop, and you're just stuck in this criticizing state of mind, and that spills over onto you. Okay, so as much as you can, be generous. Write this down, guys. I'm generous of spirit. Okay, write that down. That's a great affirmation. So if you find yourself being critical of yourself or other people, say, I'm generous of spirit. Hey, I give people a break. I'm kind to people. Life is tough. You know, life is tough, and people have gone through a lot of stuff. You don't even know what people have gone through. I mean, sometimes you look at somebody and you say, how could they be that way? But you have no idea what they've been through. You don't know what their childhood was like. You don't know what, and sometimes they'll tell you, and you'll go, wow, okay, I'd probably be a little bit messed up too if I'd gone through all that. And so sometimes their messed up emotions spill out onto you in a negative way, and that's hard, but you just gotta, and I'd come back to this word forgiveness. Now, and I get stuck on this one because it's really hard. It's a really hard one, because you gotta say, I forgive that person, but it allows you, it frees you up to move on. So if somebody is, in your life has done you evil and lied about you and said things that were untrue, somehow you have to get to that spot of forgiveness. And sometimes that takes time, frankly. But remember, as long as you're in that critical loop, criticizing them and being stuck in that, you're kind of tied to that person. So you want to just be able to forgive them and cut that bond and get free. And again, if you can get them out of your life, it's great. So that's the loops that you can get stuck in with people sometimes, the comparing and the criticizing. If you can break out of those, think of how much time in your day, and especially guys, if you're going on that social media, if you're stuck in that loop and you're looking at everybody's Facebook, that's kind of a thing where you are comparing, and it's even if you don't want to do it, it kind of starts to squeeze in. Oh, look at that vacation they're on. What was the last good vacation we had? And stuff like that. So that's kind of can be a red flashing light for some people, that they get too much into the comparing stuff. If you're looking at Facebook and that, and you feel bad when you're done, and there was some studies done that actually this Facebook and the Twitter and all the social media is hurting kids' self-esteem. Some of the younger kids in high school and even grade school kids, they're getting all involved in that, and their self-esteem's riding on how many people like a post that they posted or something, and they're just getting all tangled up in that. So be careful with social media. I mean, use it for business, but if you get into it too much socially, you can get too much into that compare/criticizing mentality. So be careful. Don't try to stay away from this trap. And if you're trying to keep a positive mindset, stay away from this, compare/criticize mindset. Focus on your own life. Focus on your own goals. Make sure you have clear goals. Make sure you got a vision board and you know what you're heading for. You know what path you're on, and you're determined to do it. And use your faith. I mean, say, God, please forgive them. And God, and if that's part of it, if you're a person of faith, that can definitely be helpful. And forgiveness is a big part of being a person of faith. It's hard. Forgiveness is one of those tough nuts, especially if someone really did you wrong. But you need to make that next step to move on to a more free and happy place. So, wow, I really got into it today. I did not expect to go into that much. So I know I ran a little bit long. So, guys, so I will not compare and criticize. Let's just say that. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. I will not compare and criticize. I will not compare and criticize. I will not compare and criticize. All right, good job, guys. That's a couple little tips. Let's keep the mindset healthy and positive. Things are turning in our direction, guys. I expect everybody to do at least 3 to 5 deals before the end of the year, and hopefully a deal by the end of the summer. Get out there. The action is happening. If you don't know how to work with agents, you've got to be at our Taking Action workshop in 1 month. It's on August 26th. It's a virtual 1 day, and you can sign up for only $1. It's normally $1,500. So go to go to homeinvestingacademy.com, go to the shop, and sign up for the Taking Action workshop. Again, go to Home Investing Academy and sign up. And we will be talking at that event about having that best possible investor mindset and having the best possible mindset for your life. So, a lot of positive stuff today. Let's do our deep breathing. Nice deep breath in. Oh, always feels great, and always a big smile. Deep breath in. When you let it out, try to let all that tension, any tension or discomfort you have. One more deep breath in. Big smile, and let it out. All right. Okay. Awesome day, guys. What a great day today. I hope you guys have an awesome day. So thanks for joining me on Brunch with Brian. I will see you guys very soon. Now we'll see you tomorrow. We're going to be on the road. Listen to this. We're going to be on